Hey folks, welcome back to another installment in our top 100 games of all time. I'm Sam.
JT.
And this segment, as the thumbnail denoted, is our numbers 40 through 31. I was taking a gander through some of my games, and they're quite good.
That's what I was going to say. So I look at these 10 and I think, man, that's a top 10 list. And then I remember there's 30 more that I rated higher than these.
30 more.
That's kind of
really
crazy.
Nice. They're really nice. So let's get to it. My number 40 is in the pandemic system. Do you know which one it is?
Legacy or otherwise?
Non-legacy
Probably Iberia. That's the one everybody loves.
Bam! Iberia, Pandemic Iberia. I really enjoy this one for the historical theme that it has with it. It's not just some, I guess, figment of your scientific imagination. This is something that actually happened in history.
Nope.
So I like that. There's other, I guess the one that's the Netherlands one, not Netherlands, was it Netherlands? It's the one where they had all of the floods.
The Rising Tide?
Yeah, Rising Tides. I think that one was also historical, but I just like this one because it also had the virusy feel to it because of what happened in the Iberian Peninsula. But I don't know. I just like this one better than the Rising Tide one, I guess.
Yeah. And I think out of all of them, I like the Roman one the best.
Really?
Yeah. I like the mechanics in it. I like the twist of the mechanics on it.
I haven't played that one yet. So we'll have to see.
Of the more base mechanic types, then Iberia would be the best.
I'm a base mechanic.
No, I don't mean it that way, but I mean it's more pandemic-y.
Sure.
The Rome one, Fall of Rome kind of pulls away from that a little bit more.
Expands on it a little bit.
I really like that.
I get it.
That's good.
That's my number 40, Pandemic Iberia.
Pandemic deserves to be on every top 100.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, maybe not. All right, my number 40 is another underwater card game type game. We talked about Abyss before. This is the other one.
The other one? The other one that I was thinking about back then? Because I was thinking Underwater Cities.
Oh, no. That's a different story.
Okay.
Now, this is Aquatica.
Aquatica. All right.
Aquatica. Aquatica is a great card game. It's one of those games where the cards in your hand, each of them, anytime you have a game, each of them have a different action to them. So you're going to play them down. You're going to gain locations. You're going to gain new cards into your hand, new lords in your hand with different actions. The locations are really cool the way the board is because you slide in the locations into your board, and then as you spend the resources, those locations slide up until they don't have anything left, and they don't score until you can actually pull them off of your location board and then put them into your scoring, and then that opens up new locations for you to get, and they have all kinds of resources and stuff on them. It's a really cool puzzle.
It's a really cool game.
Yeah. You got the little mana rays. You flip over and all those things. It's just a really cool puzzle.
Yep,
it's beautiful.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick indeed. All right, my number 39 is a game in which you are trying to get the best poker hand, but you're using dice to do that.
Best poker hand with dice.
Wild West themed.
I know the game. I just can't think of it.
Dice Town.
Dice Town. Yeah.
Dice Town. My number 39 is Dice Town. Bruno Cathala, Ludovic Mablanc. I think those are the two. I'm pretty sure Bruno Cathala is. This is Piero Lalune as the artist. This is probably one of the loudest dice games that I own.
Why is it loud?
Yeah, you have dice cups, and they're plastic, and they're like, and there's like 4 or 5 people playing at the same time, and that's just super loud.
Like,
but that's
dice.
Yeah, that's part of the fun of it. You know, that's part of the not really tactile, but the auditory draw of the game. When you hear all of these dice cups that are rattling,
Sure.
you're naturally drawn to it. So that's one of the cool pulls of the game. And I just like one of those kinds of games where you try to roll and you have some re-roll ability. You can keep dice. It's the Yahtzee mechanism. Yeah. And so I just like games that do that because it gives you that feeling of pushing your luck, but you can also kind of lock down and know that, well, at least these dice are going to give me something. I'm going to try to get something better.
Yeah.
And I like that push your luck, but sometimes you can go really push your luck, or you can be more conservative with it, and I really enjoy that. So I just have really enjoyed the game over the years. I've had some people that are just like not along with it because it has that pokery feel to it.
Sure.
But hey, different strokes for different folks. I really enjoy that aspect of it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's my number 39, Dice
Town. Very nice. My number 39 is, how do I describe this game? Honestly, I don't know how to describe this game, so I'll give you the name first and I'll let you describe it.
Oh.
No. My number 39 is Vindication. That's great.
I ain't trying to describe that.
Vindication, you get basically kicked off a ship, and you end up on an island, and you're traveling around this island, trying to upgrade your mounts, trying to do all these different things, trying to basically vindicate yourself by, gaining pets and all these, it's just a ton of different stuff. And everybody says, I know exactly what you're going to say, it's just cubes on a board and a whole bunch of them, right? And that's what it is. But it's such a nice puzzle. As you travel around the island, you flip over tiles to find the locations, or to explore the locations. It's just a whole bunch to this game. It would take a long time, other than a couple of minutes, to explain it. But Vindication is a big, beautiful game, and it's a really cool puzzle.
It's incredibly too high.
Huh? It's too high?
It's
too high?
Incredibly too high on this list.
No, come on. It's an awesome game. It's an awesome game.
I wouldn't. You keep on using that word.
I do know what that word means.
All right, my number 38 is a classic game, and I at first wanted it themed with the old 70s theme. I didn't like the new one, but
70s theme.
It's themed after a TV show.
Brady Bunch. I don't know.
No. Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. This is one of my favorite hidden, well, not really hidden role. I guess it is hidden role, but not. I mean, it is, because you don't know who's a Cylon and who isn't, but who you are in the game is always known. You just don't know if you're a good guy or a bad guy.
Right.
So it's a hidden role game in that respect, but what you can do, your special abilities, who you are, that's all the same. That's part of the beauty of it, and that's why it's such a thematic use of that hidden role system. Because Battlestar Galactica, at least the new show, the newer show, was all about nobody knows if you're a Cylon or not.
Yep.
And so you have to determine who you think is a Cylon, who isn't, based on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a super cool thing. And they really, I usually am not a big fan of like production stills being used in board games and stuff like that.
Right from the movies.
But it fit. But it fit with this, and it really went down that theme. This is one of the games. Usually, I'm a huge expansion type person. This is one of the games where I think you can stay with the core box and you're good. The two expansions that I believe there's only two. They were big box expansions, but the two expansions that came out with it, I think both of them were okay.
I never played with the expansions. This is a game that's been on my Grail games for a long time. Obviously, they don't make it anymore.
Right.
This has been on my list for a long time to purchase, to have in my collection. I did pick up Unfathomable.
Okay.
It was
it's kind of the
next Cthulhu version, because that's the only version that's out now.
Yep.
But I like the Battlestar Galactica, and I like the old Battlestar Galactica.
I don't actually own it anymore, but I regret getting rid of it.
Yeah. But I do like the theme a ton.
Yep, so, absolutely. Me too.
Yep.
Number 38, Battlestar Galactica.
That's an awesome pick. That one deserves to be here, right in front of Vindication.
Nah, you're making me feel bad.
All right, my number 38. I don't have anything witty to say about this one. No, I better not, or I'll give away all kinds of things. No, I'm just kidding. My number 38 is a Shem Phillips game, Garfield Games. They just keep popping up, one on every list, it seems like.
You really like that
series.
Is,
I do. And this is not that series. This is Wayfarers of the South Tigris. This is the start of the next series. And
it's all the same. Come on.
No, but they do such a different mechanics on every single one of them.
But it's still blank of
the South now.
You know, cardinal direction, something.
Yeah. Wayfarers of the South Tigris is extremely crunchy. We talked about Paladins before, about how crunchy it was, but how multiplayer solitaire that was. And this one kind of takes the crunchiness of Paladins, might add a little bit to it. It's not the same game, but then there's a little bit more interaction between the players. So it takes that next step up. And we're basically cartographers. You start with Baghdad. I mean, that's where you are. And your goal is you're getting land cards and sea cards, or land cards on one side, sea cards on the other side of Baghdad, and then you're filling in the sky above it. You're basically the cartographers exploring the world around Baghdad.
That's
as
cool.
If Baghdad was the center. But it has a really cool action selection with you have dice, and you have this little pyramid. And anytime you roll a dice, you're going to set your 3, your 4, and your 6 above where they go, and then you're going to use them based on what they are. But you can upgrade with this little caravan mechanic to where a 3 might give you 3 or 4 different symbols. So you're doing this upgrade system. It's just a really cool,
that sounds
really crunchy game.
I haven't played this one, so I would be super down because games that look good are always more fun. That's kind of like
it's really neat.
So all of those Garfield games look really good. They look fun. Even Paladins looks really good.
Yeah.
Component quality is great, but the gameplay just kind of
the gameplay is very much multiplayer solitaire type of game. But this one takes that next step. There's a little more interaction. There's a lot of different cards and stuff on the board, but all makes sense.
I'm down.
That's great. That's my number 38, Wayfarers of the South Tigris.
Cool. All right, my number 37 is a game that is all about necromancy.
Necromancy?
Necromancy.
We're not talking Rise of the Necromancers.
Rise of the Necromancers. Wow. Number 37. Wow. Rise of the Necromancers. Now, I am not a huge...
That's not your thing.
Necromancy type thing. I don't, when I see necromancy, I'm not like, ooh, I want to see more. I'm not like, I'll try it, see how it works. No. And that's how I was with this game. The first time I saw this game is when I worked with the Dice Tower, and the board was like super boring looking because it was this drab parchment paper color with just a couple of things. They were going for like an old world kind of map looking thing.
Yeah, desolate type of.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, I see what you were going for, but it kind of failed. So I wasn't really excited about it. But then I played it a couple more times, and over the course, I really began to enjoy this game a lot. And It's one of those games that just kind of fell into a niche for me, and it really kind of...
I watched one of your playthroughs.
Yeah. I played it solo a bunch of times. I played it with multiple players, and I just really enjoyed this game a lot. So it's my number 37, Rise of the Necromancers.
Very nice. That's cool to see it that high. It's very nice. My number 37... I dare say is way too low on this list, but there's just that many things good above it. It makes me sad, but my number 37
you had control over that.
I know.
Okay.
And I told you the way that I did this, right? I took my number 1 and then I ranked it against 99 other games, and if it beat them all, then I went to my number 2. So
really,
yeah, pretty much.
huh?
I mean, every game was pretty much compared. That's why it took me so long.
I didn't start with my number 1.
I didn't.
I ain't gonna give any game no free pass.
I got to this spot, and then I got to my 100, and then I literally said, "Okay, is this one beat all the other 99? Oh, yep. Or if it didn't, then whatever beat it jumped ahead of it."
That's interesting.
So, anyways, my number 37 is a really great game called Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria.
Oh,
Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria. You are creature races, orcs, goblins, skeletons, whatever else. You have a main character that runs around. The main board has 5 different locations. You can put your guy. And when you do that, you're going to go in there, you're going to draft a dice, and then you're going to take an action specific to that area. And really the goal of the game is to draft dice to complete these war plans, because they may need 2 gray dice and a red dice and a green dice. At the same time, completing the war plans, the values of your dice matter as far as destroying them. There's also some card play in there where you get instant effects or endgame bonuses. All these different things you're doing. You're gaining magic so that you can adjust the values of your dice. All these kind of things. It's really cool, and it has one of the greatest mechanisms that I love in just about any game is when your personal player board starts with a bunch of little chips on it. And then as you play, you get to pull those chips off and make your player board better.
More things.
Upgrading your player board. And I like that mechanic. So
yeah, that's cool.
I really like Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria.
So you start vanilla, but over time, you get more powers and various powers.
Yep. You've played this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've played it.
Yep.
All right. My number 36 is a MOBA style game.
Oh, look at this.
That has piratey theme attached to it. Rum and Bones. Rum and Bones, my number 36, and it is a game that has gone through a revamp, so to speak. They have a 2.0.
Yep.
They have a whole, like a brick of box that is like an upgrade kit for their Second Tide version.
Yep.
But I really enjoy this game because of the simplicity of the base mechanisms, and then the complex things that get added on top of it with each of your different crew members. There's not really a whole lot of complexity here.
This is ship-to-ship combat.
Yeah, it's ship-to-ship combat. You have I think there's 4 heroes, 4 heroes on your side, and your other person has 4 heroes, but they also have the crew that comes along with them. And the crew is that MOBA style that moves on its own, and you can choose your heroes to move however you wish.
Yeah.
And they can become more powerful with each little upgrade that you can unlock for them. Mm-hmm. But it's just a really fun game, and it's a super thematic game as well, because it's just this swashbuckling, try to take out the other. It's just very, very fun.
This is the game that proves there are too many games, because we have talked about playing this. We've talked about you teaching me this, off and on for several years now.
I've got a whole lot of it.
I know.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
you're supposed to teach
7.
it to me.
I've got 7 boxes of games.
We'll just take one.
I know. It just takes one.
Just take one.
Hammers of Ragnarok are my favorite faction to play because it's a Viking faction, and I just really enjoy that theme, and it's just a great game.
That's awesome.
That's my number. What was it again?
That is awesome.
36. Rum and Bones.
Okay. My number 36 is another game from Thunderworks. I don't know how many Thunderworks games I've put on here so far. I should have checked. I think this is my 3rd. But this is Lockup. Role-player tale.
Yeah.
Lockup's a really cool game. You're basically, hey, look at this. We're going monster theme. Last one was Shadow Kingdoms of monster theme. This is monster theme. You are a race of monsters, whether it be orcs or gnolls or kobolds or whatever else. You're in a prison, and you're basically trying to become the the best gang in the prison, the strongest gang in the prison. Cool thing is you have 6 tiles, and they have strengths on them. You have a lookout, which does something different, but you're playing all of these one at a time, and some of them are hidden. So as you're going to the different locations in the prison, you're basically trying to have the strongest, the most strength in those different locations to get the best rewards. But you're balancing suspicion. There's these suspicion cubes that are all over the board, so you can get raided. You make like shivs and all these makeshift items, which are worth victory points.
Fun for the whole family.
Yep, which are worth victory points, but are also in-game effects and things. It's just a really fun game, and that being able to put your tiles down in different locations and you get to hide a couple of them. It's really fun to. Yeah, it's constant interaction.
I attest, he really enjoys this game a lot.
Yes,
and he's also very good at teaching it. And because I really enjoy this game as well, but I think it's because of how well he taught the game. I don't think I would have liked this game if I tried to learn it on my own.
Yeah,
because it has a lot of crunchy stuff in there that I just didn't really get on my first play, but we've played it multiple times, and as we've gone through it, I've enjoyed it more.
Yeah. So I think any game that I can teach that has a theme that I can connect to the mechanisms, yes, that makes it easier than anybody that can connect to the mechanisms.
Absolutely.
I love theme, and I love making them connect. Yep, right on, lockup.
Theme matters. All right, my number 35. Yes, I love this game. Why isn't this higher? I really enjoy this game a lot, but I don't get to play it as much. But I do play it more than some of the other games that have slipped tremendously on my list. So it makes sense.
Here it comes.
Warhammer Underworlds.
Nice.
This is a game that I really do enjoy. Warhammer Underworlds is kind of like the it's what Super Fantasy Brawl wants to be when it gets older. That's pretty much what it is.
A little more serious.
Yeah, it's a little bit more serious. It has a little bit more. It has, well, I mean, it's in the Warhammer universe, for crying out loud. So it definitely doesn't have that cartoony look. It's very visceral, very gritty, because it's in the Warhammer universe and not the Super Fantasy Brawl.
Sure,
we're heroes thing going on. So but that aside, the hobby part of this is where I really enjoy the game as well, because it has those miniatures that are from Games Workshop that are super well detailed. Yes, you do have to put them together, but they have been making them come on sprues, yes, but they're the clip togethers. Now, you don't have to use glue for them any longer. They snap together, and they're generally within 1, 2, or 3 pieces, generally speaking. Yep. So you're not having to do a whole lot of work to get them together. And the way that they have these molds put up, I can't fathom being able to design and sculpt these different molds, because you clip them together and they look like a molded piece.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. But beyond that, the gameplay is just very fun. You can play a game of just a 2-player game. It does play up to 4 players. I don't recommend doing that because there's way too much downtime. With a 2-player game, it's very much back and forth. It's very, very much what it should be for an arena combat game.
Yeah.
And I just super enjoy this game. I enjoy this better than Super Fantasy Brawl, but I think Super Fantasy Brawl is a little bit more palatable.
Accessible. Yeah.
More palatable, more accessible. But that's my number 35. Nice. Warhammer Underworlds.
Nice. We previously talked about my favorite 2-player trick-taking game. My number 35 is my favorite competitive trick-taking game with any number of players, and that is Skull King. This is the best competitive trick-taking game that exists as of today. Period. Done. Skull King is a really cool trick-taking game. It's pirate-themed. You have a trump suit, which are the black cards. You have, the different colored cards, just like what you would in any other trick-taking game. But you also have pirates that are added into that. So you have 4 suits. One of them is a trump suit. Then you have pirates that are added into that. You have the Skull King that's added into that, which pretty much beats everything. except for you have a couple of mermaids in there, which can beat only the Pirate King and then the lower cards, and it's just this really cool balancing act. The neatest thing about it is you play 10 rounds, but your first round, your hand is only one card. And you have to declare, you all go yo ho ho, and you declare how many tricks you're going to take. And if you don't get your number of tricks, you can lose points. You can declare 0, and then you get as many points as there are cards in the hand. But your first hand is 1 card, then 2 cards, then 3 cards, then 4 cards, and it continues to get more convoluted. But it's so much fun. Do 10 rounds of yo ho hoing, and you can just play all day long.
You make people do that when you play?
That's called theme. Yep, you can do
one,
2, 3 if you want. But
we went around saying yo ho ho everywhere.
They did now. Skull King is a great game. It's super fun. It's just a blast.
All right, I have enjoyed this game in the past. It would not be in the same zip code as my top 100, but it's fun. It's fun enough.
You're not a gamer.
I'm okay. Wow. All right, my number 34 is a game that I have enjoyed for a very long time. I actually got my copy of the game from Tom because he found it to be a loathsome, boring game.
Uh-oh.
And pish posh, he's wrong. Fire and Axe.
I was going to say that.
A Viking Saga. You were?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Do you think it's boring and loathe?
No.
No? Okay, good.
No.
So I thought
I would say that because I've heard your top 100s before.
Yes.
Tom's always like...
Fire and Axe the Viking Saga does have its trappings. I'm not going to turn a blind eye to it. When you have been planning to do something for, I don't know, the last couple of turns, and somebody just kind of sneaks in there and gets it before you do, yeah, you want to throttle somebody like hard. But there are a lot of games that have those kinds of trappings. This is just another one of those games in which that can happen. I really enjoy the 7-day planning of where you can do basically 7 days worth of things during your turn. I think that's a very cool nautical thing to do. And I like the nautical part of this Viking game that really is a big part of the Viking way of life, and it's not in a lot of Viking games.
Sure.
But that nautical theme is there, and I really enjoy that about this. It's a big part of traveling. It's a big part of what you can do during your turn, and I like that having to use 7 days to plan out what you're going to do throughout the course of your turn. That's one of the reasons why I like it. I didn't so much like the newer version. I liked the older version. I liked the artwork of the older version, but they revamped it. I can't remember the name of the company that did it, but it was very dark, and the other one was very colorful.
Yeah,
and
I don't think I've seen the dark ones.
I liked the older one better, but I really enjoy this game a lot. So my number 34, Fire and Axe, Viking Saga.
Your number 34, Tom gave to you. My number 34, you gave me my copy.
Oh, really?
And that is Scythe.
Oh, cool.
Scythe's a great game. Of course, everybody knows Scythe. The best thing about Scythe is that it's not a war game. That it's
right? Yeah. And it looks like it would be.
But it's not a war game.
No, it's not.
I'm a Euro gamer, and this is, it's a Euro game. I think we talked about this before. It's almost a Euro 4X. It's climbing right into that deal, right? You're spreading out. You're not exactly exploring, but the way you control your resources and have to move around with resources, and then the cards. What are the cards called? When you flip I'm losing my mind. When you flip the token and you get like the.
Don't ask me, bro. I don't know what they're called.
Anyways, we get those cool cards that are something specific. All your people are dying. What do you do? The event cards. Yeah, those kind of things.
It's like you have to make a choice.
They are so nice, and the theme is so tight in them.
Yeah, I get it.
It's just so good in them. Scythe's a great game.
I think I found the best way for me to enjoy Scythe, and that is simply to not try to win.
Yeah,
just to play.
Just to play.
Just to play, and to be as little of a threat as possible so that everybody leaves you alone. Because that's where I have found in the past, I've seen people get super crunchy when they are,
or hemmed in.
Or hemmed in, yeah. And the last time I played this, it was at Origins, and I was playing with one dude who was learning how to play the game, another dude who was teaching how to play the game, and was like, super, this is my favorite game of all time, and if you don't like it, you're wrong. And then I was playing with another guy that used to be that guy, but it had been a long time since he played, so it took him a couple rounds to get, and boy, I was watching the three of them go at it. And there was another, it was a fifth player. It was a 5-player game.
Yeah.
I was watching the three of them go at it, and I was just like going, wow.
I don't take any game that serious.
They took it super serious, and I was just along for the ride, and I had a blast playing the game because they kind of left me alone, and I was able to just do a lot of stuff. And I didn't do horribly.
Sure.
But I didn't win, but I didn't care.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I like to play them for fun anyway. So, agreed. But I do appreciate that you gave it to me. 34 Scythe.
You're welcome. I wasn't going to probably play it, so
it's fine. I'll do it.
All right, my number 33. Yes, I love this game, and I think you like it too.
They're all climbing.
Kingsburg. Kingsburg. One of the best dice placement games in the world, and it too has gone through a couple of different editions, and they've changed kind of the graphic design and the artwork, and I like the newer one. I'm sorry, the older one better than the newer one, but it's the same game. And what I do like about the new version is that they basically put the expansions in the base box. So you have all of the different abilities.
I don't think I've played with the expansions, just base game. But
the
base game's great.
And again, that's one of the cool things about the game is that there's so much good in the base game, you don't really need the expansions. But what I do like about the expansions is that it allows you to have a different village or village board than everybody else.
Gotcha.
And it allows you to have that kind of, this is my place, that's your place, that's
nice
place
too, yeah, right.
So that's one of the things that I really like about it. I also have a lot of blingy type, expansion-y type stuff, accessories for my base game that, I have the different colored dice for all of the different colors. I have the different colored tokens for everything.
What a nice game.
So it's a super good game, though. I love it. You have to roll your dice, and you have to pick where you're going, what court officials you're going to try to get onto your side. I just really enjoy the game.
Yep.
A lot. So that's my number 30, 3? Kingsburg.
33. That's a beautiful game. My number 33, maybe the last Civilization game I ever need to purchase. No, I love it. It's that good. Wow. My number 33 is Mosaic. Story of Civilization.
I haven't played this.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
Yes. Me, you, and Brian played it.
I thought
that's where you have the big, beautiful map of the Mediterranean. Yeah, the Mediterranean, right? With Italy and all that stuff, and you're putting out your.
I remember now.
Yeah.
I thought this was one of the ones that you just got in that I haven't played yet.
No.
Got it. I understand.
Mosaic. It's big, beautiful map, grid map. I think the biggest complaint for everybody is the setup's a little bit difficult. And it's just difficult because you're spreading resources all over this entire map and randomizing them. But other than that, you're putting down cities and ports and, increasing your population and obviously spending people to put down new cities because you need to populate them. And you're gaining resources and items for your market board. But it's just smooth. It's beautiful. It doesn't take too long. It has one flaw in the cards. Sometimes, so the way that the game ends is when each of the decks, there's a decline card that's in there. I can't remember what it's called, a decline card that's in there. And when 3 of those decline cards flip over, then that signifies the end of the game. But there is a point where it is possible that one of those cards that, everybody stops kind of digging into that pile. And so it will sit there for too long. So that's something that I think we talked about, house ruling, putting it a little bit closer, things like that. But there's also a new expansion out. I have the expansion, but I haven't played it yet. Disasters and Wars and Disasters or whatever. It's got naval combat, or it's got naval units now that are out in this. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a beautiful game, super fun, super thematic again.
It's cool.
I think the one thing is your units, they sit in a region, they don't sit like in squares.
Yep.
And they're just basically for tiebreakers and for point values to see who's owning those regions. But I really love Mosaic. It's really fun.
That's cool. I want to try that expansion out.
Yeah, me too.
All right. My number 32. I don't know. I can't remember if you like this game or not. But I would have...
if it's in your top 32, I'll say yes.
32. This one is called Northgard, Uncharted Lands. And the artwork is what drew me to this.
Oh, yeah.
But on top of that, it is a Viking 4X game.
Yep.
And those two things combined, I was like, yep, I want to get it. So I got it, and then it sat on my shelf for a long time, almost a year before we actually got to it.
Yep.
And then we kind of buckled down and learned how to play at Origins this year. Brought that knowledge back, played it some more here, and I just really enjoy this game. I just really enjoy this game because it does have that 4X feel, but it doesn't take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours to play. It plays in about an hour and a half to 2. And 2 is you're going really slow. And that is fun for me. The artwork is amazing on all of the different cards. Really looks good on the table.
It's got nice production value.
Yes.
I think that I've only played this once.
Right.
So it didn't make my list because I've only played it once. I haven't had enough experience with it overall. Yeah, it's pretty. We had a lot of fun. I think those creatures, the monsters that were in there, are very important.
Yes.
There's monsters that go in there in spaces that you have to fight or deal with.
I think you said you wouldn't ever play the game without
Probably
the monsters.
not, because without the monsters, then it's just too much poking at each other for, just for poking at each other's sake, right? It doesn't give you anything else to deal with.
They can be really stinky, though.
Yeah.
They can really lock you down to where you have to go fight them.
You could get bad luck, and a monster could really hurt you.
Yep.
But I like that other force being on the board. So it's just not straight PvP the whole time.
Absolutely.
But I think it's a really cool game.
But you can play just straight PvP.
Yep. Yeah, you can.
You can do that. But I agree with JT. I think that using the monsters, the creatures
or whatever,
is a great idea because it provides that kind of natural barrier so that you're not in each other's face all the time.
Yep, that's really cool.
That's my number 32, Northgard, Uncharted Lands.
Very nice. My number 32 is a crossover.
Oh.
It's a very big crossover.
Very big cross. Is that in the title?
No.
It's a
very big crossover. You may or may not have worked for this company once.
Oh, no, it's not that low.
It is.
It is?
It is.
This is Darkest Dungeon?
That's how many fantastic games are on top. Yeah.
Mind blown. I thought that was absolutely going to be in your top 10.
No, didn't make it.
Wow.
Didn't make it.
Holy
My number 32 is Darkest Dungeon.
Wow.
For all the haters out there, just go get it and play it. No, I played a whole bunch of this video game. But I played a whole bunch of this video game before the board game ever come out. And then I had the opportunity to, teach the board game, which was very nice. But the feel of the board game is it's probably the best roguelike board game I have ever played. Because it maintains the roguelike features that come or that you feel when you're in one of those kind of games. And at the same time, you get the board presence, you get your characters, you get the cool combat maps, so you get all of those different pieces. And as far as true to form, this game is extremely true to form of the video game. And I think that we said it before, I like this better than the video game, just for the fact that there's interaction, there's people on the table. So instead of I'm playing it by myself.
Yeah.
But I don't really have anything bad to say about Darkest Dungeon. There's a lot of upkeep.
Yep.
And you just have to learn to deal with it and play with it. But you get used to it too. So
yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I cannot believe this is not in your top 10.
I'm sorry, but I love this game.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. All right, my number 31, also a brand new game.
Sweet.
As a matter of fact, this game, and we talked about this when not you and I, but when I was with the Dice Tower, we talked about should it be able to make your top 100 if it's not yet produced?
Oh no.
It's not yet produced.
Oh no.
It's coming.
I thought we were going to have a direct crossover right here. So
no,
I'm sad.
No, it's coming. It's going to be produced. The Kickstarter just ran. It funded. It's going to get made. It's a Thunderworks game.
Stone Spire Architects.
Stone Spine Architects.
Stone Spine Architects. I don't know why I always say that.
Because I have to physically make myself, not physically, but I have to consciously make myself say Stone Spine because you want to say Stone Spire.
Yep.
You just want to do that. But it's Stone Spine Architects. This is such a fun game.
It's a fun game.
Such a fun game because it takes spatial organization and puts it into this theme of building your own dungeon. Yeah. And you have contracts that you have to meet, and you are putting it together row by row, and you need to make the top or the entrance connect to the exit, but you don't know exactly how you're going to do that. It's a super crunchy game, and it's one of the games where I actually enjoyed the solo play experience because it gives you the same basic experience that you'll get with the multiplayer game as well. It was so much fun, and I was so pleased by it. And after I got through playing it, I knew it was going to be on my top 100. I just didn't know exactly where. But it's my 31.
If this one didn't break all the rules, it would be in my top 100 too. But it's not out yet. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that's a rule.
I don't care. I don't care.
I agree 100%.
I've played the game.
That
it's
would be
going
in my
to
top
be a
100,
game.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So
it's really cool. My number 31 is a fantastic 31.
Ooh. Okay. Mine was fantastic.
All right. My number 31 is a new game. It is a 2023 game. I've had a few on here. I can't remember how many so far, but 3 or 4. But it's a 2023 game, and this one will likely climb even higher, and that is The Witcher Old World.
Ooh.
I love this game.
Cool.
Like, this is my first foray into a choose-your-own-adventure, just open world. That's the right word. This is my first adventure, or my first really foray into a really good open world board game that I've liked. There's been other open world board games, but just being a Witcher, moving around, building your strength, getting potions and getting bombs, and traveling to Skellig, and chasing down Neckers and all these different creatures from the Witcher world. And I love the Witcher anyways, but just all of that stuff. We've played with the mages, played with all the different things. The enemies are all great. Yeah, I just love this game.
I only have the one experience that we actually played this live play when he got his copy in. So it was a great game. I had a blast. I got blown away. I think you had to get
we had some
5
bar
trophies.
fights.
Have 5 trophies or something like that.
You get 3 trophies.
3 trophies to win. Yeah, I think I got 1.
Yeah.
And he blasted me, but I really had a great time playing the game. It was very fun.
Yeah.
The decisions that you have to make at each of the different spots whenever you choose to explore or what have you.
And your deck building the whole time.
Yeah.
Your deck is your life when you go into a battle. So if you're culling out of your deck, you're weakening yourself hit points wise or health wise, but you're strengthening your deck.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of good. Yeah. It's just super fun.
Yep. Very, very much so. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our 40 through 31. So we only have 30 more games left.
I can't even imagine what's on those lists. It's crazy.
You made those lists, so you can definitely imagine what are.
I can imagine. But
all right, we've got 3 more segments to go. Hang in there. We're almost done. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. And we'll see you guys and gals on the flip side.
Boy, take care.
See you later.